Hello, hello. All right, we are live. I'm going to pause for a minute and just take a little breather as we wait for everybody who's coming in to get caught up. Do you ever see these YouTubers? They're so cool where they do they're just sitting there. The live stream starts and they're just like looking down, doing nothing, right? I want to be that cool one day. Where I can just be like, I know you're out there, but I'm just gonna look down and ignore y'all. It gives me the willies to think about it. Instead, I want to go like, yes, we're live. Hello. I don't have a shred of cool in me, not a shred. If you're out there, though, please do comment so I can say hi. I can see you're all coming in. I know we've got a little bit of a lag, so it'll take a second, but I just want to say hello and that I'm glad you're here and that I appreciate your support. Hey, good to see you. All right, Sylvie's in the house. I love it. Hey, good. We're gonna have a good show today. I can't wait to talk. I don't know why it took me so long to send out an email and let you know that I'm going live on the channel. And some people are asking, is this going to go on forever? Are you always going to do Wednesdays? Or, what's the scoop with YouTube? And really the answer is I don't know. We're experimenting. I'm playing with it. I'm testing it out. I'm doing live now on Wednesdays. We'll try that out for a while. We'll see how it goes. So far I'm really enjoying it. I love hanging out with you. And the one way you can guarantee that I will be live here all the time is to like and comment and subscribe and say hello in the chat and say we love mindset in the chat. If you believe in the power of mindset, shout it out. Oh, thanks, Teresa. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out a system for sending out the emails because obviously I didn't give you all very much time. That is for sure. But we'll figure it out. It's like everything. We're making it up as we go along. That's what we're all doing. We're just making it up as we go along, doing our best to figure it out and bang around. And eventually it all works out, right? So I'm so glad you're here. I will get started with the show shortly. I know you're going to really like what we've got. Hey, Dee, good to see you. Yeah. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah. It's never... you can never do enough whooping in the comments. So if you would like to add your own woot or whoop, I'm happy to hear them. Come on, shout it out, baby. All right. Good. Okay, so let's begin, shall we? We're going to talk today about, I think, a topic that affects a lot of us. We'll find out. It's a secret. Ooh, no, I think I told you, didn't I? Okay. All right. I'm so glad you're here. Sit tight. Here we go. Oh, gosh. I got to say hi to Betsy before I start. Good to see you. Okay. I'm really starting now. Keep commenting, though. Okay. Hello, and welcome to the show. I'm so happy you're here. You're listening to Positive Mindset for Entrepreneurs. I am your host, Dana Wild. This is the show where you discover how to leverage the power of mindset and build your business faster. Oh, yeah. We love that, don't we? By the way, if you want to leverage the power of mindset every single day, make sure to like and comment and subscribe to this channel, and you will get notifications when I go live or when I release a new video. I'm doing a new video several times a week now, and I'd love for you to be a part of this sandbox. So today we are going to discuss running your business as a solopreneur, or maybe you are solo with just one VA. And I'll tell you what happened. We got an email from someone who wrote in. I'm going to read it to you here. I think it's a she. I'm going to just say she. What she wrote was, the biggest challenge is that sometimes it feels so foreign to be an entrepreneur, a solopreneur to be more specific. Coming from a corporate background and doing everything by yourself and not having a team of support and allies sometimes makes it seem like it's the wrong path. I can totally understand, and I know how that feels. And just as a side note, part of the reason why I founded the Positive Mindset Entrepreneurs Club is I think there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there who feel this way. I always have this visual of like we're sitting in some dark room with this light from the laptop hitting our face, and we're trying to like scratch our heads and figure out what's the next thing to do. And so if you'd like information on the PME Club, please do look for the link in the description, because it is a way where you don't have to feel so alone. You can be with other entrepreneurs, and not just any entrepreneurs who are going to yell action, action, action at you, but entrepreneurs who really get the power of positive mindset. So having said that, even so, the important thing I like to think about whenever I'm butting up against something that I'm not happy with, or that I maybe don't like, or I'm feeling uncomfortable with, is to remember that there are always multiple sides to every situation. You know, we were raised with that idea that there are two sides, but really there are multiple sides, aren't they, to every situation. And anytime anything happens, I like to ask myself the question, what's the benefit of this? Or what's the good of this? Because as you know, I'm sure you've heard me say more than once or twice that it's not really what we do or don't do in our businesses. It's the story we're telling about what we do or don't do. And the situation goes, the same phrase goes for situations. You know, whatever the situation we have, whatever the thing we think is happening to us that's so bad or is going to set us back, when we ask that question, what is the benefit from this, or what's the good that's coming from it, it helps to kind of reframe it and rethink it. And so if you look at being a solopreneur, when you frame it the way you framed it, it sounds really hard, right? Like, I've got to build this business on my own, and it's so hard, and how am I going to do it? And I don't have enough time, and I can't do all these things. And, you know, there's that kind of background grinding noise of, you know, I can't do it on my own. It's hard to do it on my own. I've got so much I want to do. My dreams are getting stunted because I don't have it. I can't do it on my own. Oh, like, you can just feel the pain of that, can't you? Like, it just, it makes me just so sad to think that story. And that's the point, isn't it? When we're brain trainers and we start to notice that the thoughts we think generate emotions, and those emotions give us different options, and we make different choices based on those emotions. So when you're thinking thoughts that make you sad, like those thoughts just made me sad, when you're thinking thoughts that are negative or bring you down, you constrict the creative pathways in your brain. You have access to fewer choices, fewer ideas. You make decisions from a place of sadness rather than from a place of joy or happiness or hopefulness or whatever. So this is the beauty of being a brain trainer. We really get that connection. So on the other hand, when you look at what's good about it, like what is good about being a solopreneur, you generate emotions that are positive. So therefore opening the creative pathways in your brain, getting access to better ideas. So let's start making a list. And, you know, anybody who's here for the live stream was free to join in on the chat with things that are good about being a solopreneur. But here are some that came to me immediately. The first one is that you don't have the expense of a team. So you don't have all the added expense in your business. When you're first starting out, you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure out how to generate the money. You're trying to figure out what's your best path to conversion is, and all of that stuff. You don't have that added stress of having the extra expense that goes with having team members. So that's a big plus, not only because of the money flow, but more importantly, because of the emotional stress that you may feel if you had team members added. The other benefit of going solo is it gives you time to get your footing on your own. You know, when you're responsible for a team or another person, even, that is a responsibility. It does take time. You've got that added influence. When you're on your own, you can really take a breather, take your time, get your footing, feel more comfortable, really feel better about the choices that you're making, the decisions and how you're going forward, you're really able to get your footing and feel like you're on stable footing before you start adding more people, which leads to the next point, which is you have a simpler life. Anytime you start adding more dynamics or more people to an equation, there is those extra dynamics and I don't want to call it chaos, but it can start to feel chaotic if you grow too fast, too soon. Where when you're new to start out with and you're all by yourself, you've got a nice, simple life. And you can just take it easy, take your time, have that simple life, and add those elements that are going to increase the momentum more slowly. Finally, and this is my favorite reason for being solo to start out with, especially, but for as long as you can, be a solopreneur. The biggest benefit is that it forces you to focus on the things that really, really move the needle and that really need to be done, the things that are really making you money. I can't tell you how many times I have looked and assessed the different team members that I've had and realized like I at one time was paying somebody as a full-time social media person on the team. And I don't think that brought anything in, didn't move the needle at all. But in my mind, it was like, oh, well, we have to do this or we have to have this, right? And so many times, if you were just adding team members randomly and have all of these abilities to do all sorts of things, you try to do it all. And as we know from being in this sandbox, doing it all isn't what makes you successful. Thinking differently is what makes you successful. So when you are a solopreneur, you really hone in and you really say, okay, I am going to do this one thing and I'm going to do it really well. And I'm going to train my brain around it. I'm going to move the needle with this strategy that I've decided. I'm going to use this tactic, this strategy, and I'm going to be successful using that. As opposed to I'm going to try to do everything, because you can do everything when you've got a lot of help to do it. So I think just in the sheer ability to manage your time, manage your energy, manage your focus on how you're using your marketing, there is so much to be said for having, for being a solopreneur. And we have somebody here who's live, Teresa, I'm going to give you a shout out, who says, and you don't have to manage anybody else's emotions either. So talk about managing your time, managing your focus, managing other people's emotions. You only have to manage your emotions. Like really, there's a lot to be said for being a solopreneur. And so when you're thinking of the positive that comes from it, you are now more likely to tell a different story. So I want to repeat what I said before, which is it's not what you do or don't do that matters. What matters is the story that you're telling. So in the past, you're telling a story like it's a bad thing to be a solopreneur. Well, what if it's a good thing to be a solopreneur? How can you shift that story and tell a different story? And by the way, side note, remember, you can do this for everything. So let's say you've got this FOMO thing that's going, you should be on TikTok. You should be on TikTok, right? Well, what's the benefit of not being on TikTok? Make that list, right? So whatever that thing is that's in your business, that you can find out by just asking yourself, like, I would be growing except for, and fill in the blank of the thing that you think is standing in your way, and then play the quote unquote devil's advocate or tell the other side of that story. Maybe that's the thing that's responsible for your success. That is really high level brain training. When you start looking at your life and realizing everything is working for you. What if every single situation in your life, good, bad, or indifferent, was actually for your full benefit? What if it was all working for you? That is the best way to be living, in that kind of positive momentum. Because when you tell that different story, you get a different result, because you get access to a better brain. You get the stuff done that's on your list faster because you're feeling better. You've got that positive momentum. It's just 1,000 times better all the way around. So the story you were telling before is I'm from corporate world. I am used to collaborating. I'm used to having this big team. The new story is, well, what's good about being a solopreneur? And so you start that little quiet story in the back of your mind. And that little quiet story in the back of your mind, it sounds like, I get what Dana's saying. Actually, I prefer to start every single news story with Dana's right. So, so if you want, you can just have that one. Dana's right. Dana's right. There are a lot of good things about being a solopreneur, and I am just getting my footing now. And I do like that my life is simple, and I like that I've got some time to figure this out. And I like being on my own for a little while and getting used to things and building my brand and understanding the different steps that it takes to build my brand. And I like not having the extra expense right now. It is good to know that I don't have that extra added financial commitment right now, and that I can just be on my own. And I especially like what she said about focusing and realizing that I can get my priorities straight. It's such a good feeling to know that I don't have to be everywhere to be successful. I can just pick the thing that I'm good at, pick the thing that I'm interested in, and follow that thread and do that and do only that, because the success doesn't come from all the things I'm doing. The success doesn't come from having a bigger team and having everybody doing all these things and creating a bunch of chaos for myself. Success comes from the way I think, and all good things will unfold in perfect timing. If I am meant to add a team member or 2 or 3 and continue to grow, I will know when it's time to do that. And in the meantime, I know that my success comes from training my brain and feeling good. My success comes from the story I'm telling. My success comes from allowing my positive feelings to flow and positive momentum to continue. And I love the idea that I can do this on my own, and that it's possible to build a fantastic business all by myself, because I'm focused, I'm relaxed, I'm training my brain, I'm telling the good story, and I'm on my way. Tell that story, and feel the positive emotional shift as you do it. So either way, whatever you decide, if you decide to add a team member, if you don't decide to add a team member, whatever you decide to do, you've totally got this. I'm going to stay for 1 second because I just want to say to everybody how much I appreciate you being here. And I love these sentences. Oh, Minda, that's good. I'm accountable to me and my clients. Beautiful. Dana's always right. Best comment ever. Hey, Deb. Hi from Minnesota. Hey, Tammy. Yeah, and Tammy says right here, you want to create a simple business. Exactly. It's so nice to do it that way. There's so much to be said for being a solopreneur. I love that. Oh, y'all are so good. I just appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for your support on this channel. I'd like everybody, I'm just banging around and figuring it out too. And we're going to have some fun together. And, your support means the world to me. It makes it possible for me to do this, to know that you are out there, and I love playing with you. All right. I'll see y'all soon. I'll be in the club, of course. If you're going to the club, that's my next stop. So I hope I see you there. All right. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.